Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the last part of Unit Dominion, which of course is a Big Finish audio story from the latter part of the 7th Doctor's era, and introducing Alex McQueen in the role we know him as. This was actually sent by one of my subscribers a long time ago. I'm not actually sure who sent it right off the top of my head. It's been a while. I watched the first two parts, and then there was a long gap, and I finally recently have listened to the last two parts, and it's enjoyable. I think just part 2 is the slowest part. I like part 1 well enough with the mind leeches, which was really cool. Part 2, it kind of drug a bit. Part 3, it picked back up, and part 4, I enjoyed. It's out there. This story is very out there. I mean, there's a floating giant baby heads, interdimensional beings. It's out there. But I enjoyed it. It's nice having, especially in this final part. I'm going to just get into spoilers if you haven't seen my other 3 episodes reviewed, or if you're not familiar with the story. Of course, we find out that Alex is playing the Master and that he's been masquerading as the Doctor the whole time. The part 3 cliffhanger revealed that, which I already knew going in because I know Alex plays the Master in a lot of Big Finish stories. I recognize the picture of him. But it was neat. He's probably my favorite part of the story. I really like Alex's voice, and I love watching him impersonate the Doctor, because there's still little clues that it's not the Doctor. Like when he falls in the water at one point, and they mention he swam away like an eel in the water, which is not something the Doctor would really do, run away when people are in danger. When he tries to hypnotize the baby's heads earlier in the story, now quick, look into my eyes, and then stuff happens. And then later he does that mesmerizing trick by having somebody look in his eyes later. So there's little quirks that tells you this really isn't the Doctor, where it's more as the Master. But I really like Alex's performance. His voice is like a cross between Colin Baker's and Paul McGann's, and I like it. It just fits this kind of suave, like a car salesman type. Like a posh car salesman? I'm not quite sure, but I really like him in the role. Sylvester McCoy is always great. I like the actresses playing Klein and Rain. Now, I did watch the behind-the-scenes stuff, so I did learn Klein had been in previous Big Finish stories, like the Klein trilogy. I wouldn't mind getting the Klein trilogy, actually. That sounds like that'd be a good listen. If anyone wants to send Big Finish stuff, the Klein trilogy would be good. But I enjoyed her in that, and learning about her past, and apparently her past was a lot different. Now she's living in this rewritten history, because apparently she was originally from an alternate universe where the Germans won World War II, but now that she's in this universe, she's acclimated to this universe with memories of this universe. It's interesting. I like her, and I like the actress playing her a lot, and still how she doesn't trust either of the Doctors. The guys, the 2 kind of major guys playing unit leaders, I forget their names, they're fine. The sound effects and music are good, which it kind of has to be. It's an audio story to convey the action going on. It kind of ends a little easier than I thought, and really it just ends because the Master misspeaks at one point, and the Doctor points it out to this little entity that holds him hostage, basically proving that the Master was lying to the entity. It's such a little slip, but that's all it takes sometimes, is a little slip. And of course, Chess Master McCoy catches the little slip because he's the 7th Doctor. Although most Doctors probably would, but it's the 7th Doctor. But yeah, it was a really good listen. It wrapped up nice. I definitely think the main reason there was such a gap in my reviews was part 2 just kind of let it down. I don't know why, but I remember after part 2, I just couldn't quite bring up the motivation to get back to it. But it hadn't been that long since I listened to part 3, and I'm like, you know what? I'm curious to see how this wraps up. That's a good cliffhanger. It's, like I said, it's definitely out there. It deals with a lot of techno babble with the nodes and how this works in interdimensional. It's a lot to take in. Like, I would love to see this done visually. I don't know how you would do this visually, but I would love to see it done visually. I feel like it needs to be done visually. It's just bat crazy. Just bat crazy sometimes. But it was a good listen. Would I recommend it? I liked it. This is probably, I don't know, it'll probably be a long time before I go back to this one. I liked it. I didn't love it. It was interesting. And it definitely got me interested more in the Klein character. And I'm not really familiar with Rain. It's like she traveled with the Doctor and then left him and then came back. And this is like right when she came back or something. That's really confusing. But I did enjoy the performances, and I thought it was a well put together production, even if the story is I mean, it's Doctor Who. Crazy things can happen, and crazy things happen. Giant talking baby heads. It's out there. So I know that's just kind of random. I don't really know how to put my thoughts in context on this. But that's pretty much my thoughts on Unit Dominion. I want to know what you think of it. Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There's a link to that down in the description. I have a link to my Amazon wish list and a link to my Amazon UK wish list down there as well. YouTube memberships are available. I want to give a shout out to a couple of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney and Perkins and Stephen Crane. I appreciate their support as I do the support of all of my patrons. Most importantly, thank you for watching.